but Aduro is developing a new hydrochemolytic recycling process, but they recently announced a new corporate update about progress on the R2 plastic recycling reactor, which is set to recycle a few kilograms of plastic waste per hour in a continuous flow. The reactor has officially been commissioned and started recycling waste feedstock into higher value liquid hydrocarbons, meaning diesel, kerosene, or other fuels depending on the type of feedstock. So this is the major de-risking event for Aduro. And why is that? Because up until this point, Aduro has been testing their technology through batch processing. But until they could prove the process works in a continuous flow, so you can consistently feed more waste into the system at larger scales, and it was difficult to know just how well the tech would work. Now with that said, Aduro's management team actually hadn't considered this to be one of their top risks, and they figured the technology would actually perform better as it scaled.
We see a lot of questions around scaling up, right? And we keep on answering those same questions, saying that, yes, scale up is a process, but we do not deem it as a top risk. We're actually very confident that scale up is going to go quite smoothly due to the points, of course, that Ofer mentioned, right? Lower severity, lower temperature. It creates a less invasive environment, which, of course, impacts the machinery and equipment that we're building. But like we said in the past, this is not exotic equipment. It's actually quite standard. It's not, these pilots or even commercial units have been built in one variety or variation or another by several other companies before. We're not reinventing the wheel, right? The secret sauce is the core process, the core technology, and all the parameters that we're actually becoming subject matter experts around. Our team is the best at what we do, right? Now, when people are thinking that scaling up is inherently a risk, whether it's low or medium or high, they're thinking a little bit in isolation that we're going at this on our own, which is not the case. We are ramping up our internal engineering department. Yes, we need engineers in-house, and we need to even onboard more and more engineers. But we're working with external engineering firms that are very high caliber, right? We are not sparing any commitments when it comes to the engineering aspect. We don't want to go at this alone, and we don't need to, right? Most companies out there actually work with an engineering partner. So when we partner with actually two engineering firms for the R2, these individuals, these companies have built things or pilots of the scale that are 50-fold what we're building here. When we go to R3, we're probably going to even expand even further. We're going to be working with engineering companies that have the expertise and know-how around something that's 10, 20 times the size that we're building. So, we shouldn't be thinking that this is Aduro, a company that is, 2 years public and is going to face hurdles. That's not how it's going to work, right? And I want to point as well at the Shell Game Changer agreement. Yes, there's funding. Yes, we're providing them with analysis and reports. But more importantly, from just the funding, they're providing technical expertise, right? Market know-how, market direction. So not only do we have our partners, engineering partners, we have access to partners outside of that, third-party stakeholders that are also there to answer any question, to help us, assist us during the process. So we're not going at this alone, right? So I think people need to just remember that as we move forward.
So, as Mina stated, they're not too worried about scaling up, especially after they've already built an R2 reactor that was third-party validated, but for bitumen, also known as asphalt.